There's a great catch-22 when we talk about trauma healing. So I'm a really big nerd, and I love Doctor Who, and the Weeping Angels are a great example of sort of this concept I'm talking about because they're quantum locked, meaning they only exist when they're not looked at. So the idea of something existing or not existing only when it's perceived feels really powerful to me. And that's sort of how I look at this particular trauma healing tool. It only exists as a tool when the person who's experiencing the trauma then adopts it. Before they personally adopt it as a tool, it's actually harmful and can look a whole lot like victim blaming. Here's what I mean. An oversimplified definition of trauma is when someone experiences something that fully overwhelms their senses, and part of that experience is power being taken away. So a way to heal some of those wounds for some people is this concept of taking power back. A way to take power back is to own what we can do for ourselves in the future, or to take the power back into us and claim it. Now, telling someone to take their power back obviously can be horribly victim blaming and continuing and perpetuating harm. If and unless they adopt that as an inner truth and a thing that does feel empowering to them, then it can be beautifully transformative and healing. But that's what I mean by it existing kind of in a quantum state. This can look any number of ways. I'll use examples that are true for my personal experience and my personal experience alone. I have a history of traumatic SA. One of the most healing things I did for that experience was to adopt a lot of the education and a model of consent being collaborative and really improve my skill with boundary setting and consent communication. And from a spiritual perspective, it feels personally like a comforting thought to think, cosmically, I chose that experience so that now I can have the kind of empathy that I have now because it's so important and valuable to me. Can you hear how, in a certain context, those things would seem really victim blaming? And can you hear that in my lived experience, those things and those beliefs, now because I've owned them, are beautifully healing? And the point of this video is to presence that interesting nuance of this conversation. If you like this video, one easy way to support me is to like and subscribe to my socials. I work really hard to create quality content so that cuddle therapy is more accessible and boundaries and consent education more prevalent. I hope that it's been of benefit to you in some way. And as always, I hope you're getting your touch needs met.